make one by yourself before you can use it. And the same thing goes on the STAR test. If you make your multiplication chart, you can use it. So let's go ahead and start. The first thing I want to say about multiplication chart is that I only make my multiplication chart from the twos, so all our two facts, all the way down to the tens, okay? So my multiplication chart looks a little different when we start, okay? The first thing I always do when I start my multiplication chart is I put an X in the top left-hand corner. And this represents the number 1. Remember, the ones aren't going to be our multiplication chart. We're only going to have the 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. So I'm going to start this next square. I'm going to start with the number 2, and then I'm going to number down in number order until I hit 10. So I start with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'm going to come across with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. My next step is I'm going to go ahead and make a box to my multiplication chart by filling in my 10 factors, or skip counting by 10. These are the easy ones that we all know. Everybody can count by 10, so we're going to work smarter, not harder, and we're going to start with our 10s next. We're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Then we're going to come across. I always work down and across, and I'll explain later. But we're going to go across here with our 10s again. We're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So we have made our box. Okay. The next step, and let's go ahead and put a line around our chart, because this is where our chart is going to end. And yes, I end our facts at 10, because if we need to figure out our 11s or our 12s, we could just do a quick little multiplication problem. And I want you to have all the time you need on your tests. So we're just going to cut this down to what we need. Okay. Let me finish my box over here. Okay. Our next step is to do what I call make a window. And we're going to make our window by completing our 5s facts. And so we're going to skip count, or count by 5s to do that. We're going to think 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. Once I go down, I find my multiples of 5 over here, and I fill them in going across. Again, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50. Okay? So my next set of facts that I'm going to put in are my 9s, because they're super easy when you know the trick. So I want you guys to kind of watch first and listen, and then I want you to try. If you need to rewind to watch me do it again if you don't get it the first time before you try. Okay? All right. So the trick of the 9s when you fill them in on a multiplication chart is easy. We're going to start with the digit, because 2 times 9 is 18. So all the numbers and all the rest of the factors down here are all going to have 2 digits in them. And we start with the trick of the 9s by putting a 1 in the tens place. So we start with a 1 in the tens place. And we're going to number in number order down our paper all the way till we hit 9. So I'm going to start 1, 2, 3. The 4 is already there, so I move on next to 5, 6, 7, 8, and the 9 is already there. I'm going to move my pencil over to the 0, and I'm going to go back up the other direction starting with 1. So it goes 0, 1, 2, and I'm in the 1s place, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's the trick of the 9s. Super easy. You number in the tens place, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You go over to the 0 and you number going up the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you hit 9. Isn't that cool? Well, let's check it. Let's make sure this is right. So 3 times 9, is that 27? It sure is. Okay. 5 times 9, is that 45? Absolutely. So that's the trick of the nines, and that's why I fill it in next in the chart, because it's super easy to do. I'm going to do the same thing going this way. And you have 1 or 2 choices here. You can go ahead and practice that trick of the nines again, or just copy down from your column what you have. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the trick of the nines so I can get more practice. So again, the trick of the nines, we start in the tens column. We're going to have 2-digit numbers all the way across. We start in the tens column and we think 1, 2, 3, the 4 is there, 5, 6, 7, the 8 is there, the 9 is there. We start our pencil in the ones place under the 0. And then we go back the other direction. The 1 is there. The next number is going to be 2, then 3, 4, the 5 is next, then 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to double check to make sure I have this right. So I have 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, and then 90. So we're good. Okay, so that's the trick of the nines. And we're going to do some investigations later on in the year and some of our warm-ups about how this trick of the 9 works and why and what's really happening with the numbers that are composed, the prime numbers that compose the number 9 and what makes it work this way. It's super cool when you learn and see those patterns. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the twos column and we're going to do our twos next because they're easy. I can count by twos. So I'm going to go down first, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Okay. So now I'm going to fill them across this way again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I used my column I made first to track and make sure I was on path with the second one. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to move on to my threes, and I'm going to be thinking and counting by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, then I get 15. Add 3 more, 18. 3 more makes 21. 3 more makes 24, and then 27, and I end at 30. So that's right. So now I'm going to fill in, starting making sure I'm on my threes. 3, 6, 9. Put my finger underneath the next number that comes, which is 12. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and double check I'm on the right column, 27, 30. Yep, got it. We're going to do the same thing with our fours. 4, 8, 12. 12 plus 4. We're going to add 4 more. That'll give us 16. And then 20 is already there. I can add 4 to 20. That's going to give me 24. 4 more will give me 28. And 4 more will give me 32. Then I'm going to find where my 4s are. They're right here. I'm going to put my finger right here. There's the 20. I'm going to move it down. There's the 24. I'm going to fill it in. 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Look at how few facts we have. This is easy, isn't it? Okay. Here's where we might slow down some, and you might have to do some counting on your fingers, and there ain't no shame in that. Okay. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Add 6 more because we're in the factors of the 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30 plus 6 is 36. Plus 6 more is 42. Plus 6 more is 48. Okay. So I'm over here on this side. I stopped at 36. That means 42 will come next, and 48 is next, then 54 and 60. So my next one is 7 times 7. So I'm at 42, and I'm going to think 42 plus 7 will give me 49. Add 7 more, you get 56. So 7 times 7 is done here, so I just need 7 times 8, which is 56. And the last number that goes in the multiplication chart is 8 times 8 is 64. Okay. You'll notice that in your packet, I have an extra grid paper given.